For the first time in 28 years, the best-selling mid-sized vehicle here in Australia is now the Tesla Model 3. It has officially beaten the car that was the best-selling mid-sized sedan for the last 28 years, the Toyota Camry. Does this mark the beginning of the end? Well, electric vehicle sales have increased by more than 300% in Australia in the last 12 months, but there is still a long way to go. Fortunately, we have a big country very close to us that really wants to send us millions of EVs. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. My name's Sam Evans. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. It's great to see you here in 2023. I hope you had an amazing year. And well, considering the year we just had in 2022, you can guarantee that electric vehicle sales will be insane this year. I'm going to think they're going to increase by around 50% worldwide, which means that in many countries around the world, the predominant vehicle market share will be EVs. Will Australia be one of those? No. Unfortunately, here in Australia, EV sales are only still around just over 3%. But considering they did just triple in the space of 1 year, if we get another tripling, we're looking at 9%. If it triples again, well, we're looking at, you guessed it, 27%. Triple again? Well, maybe they won't triple after that, but you can see how quickly electric vehicle sales can rise. Tesla has just proven this as well. Tesla is leading the electric vehicle charge here in Australia. They have nearly 70% market share in Australia, and they've ended the Toyota Camry's 28-year winning streak. Tesla sales almost doubled last year, and they accounted for nearly 2 out of every 3 electric vehicles sold here in the country. In a huge upset, the Tesla Model 3 electric vehicle, you could call it a sedan, really, ended the Toyota Camry's 28-year winning streak in the mid-size sedan category after the Model 3 had 11,000 sales in Australia last year, ahead of the Toyota Camry's tally of 9,638. So it was well ahead of the Camry. It wasn't really that close in the end, which is surprising considering the fact that so many people here in Australia were actually waiting. They were waiting for the Tesla Model Y. Aussies really love SUVs. They love crossovers. People were just desperate to get the Model Y. People are emailing me now saying, hey, when's the Model Y performance coming? When's the performance coming? Sorry, I do not know. Just 2 Tesla vehicles, the Model 3 sedan and the Model Y SUV, drove the US auto giant Tesla to 16th place outright on the sales charts, ahead of established brands such as Audi, Honda, and Volvo. So now Tesla in Australia is bigger than Audi, Honda, and Volvo, which is crazy. It's also crazy to see what's happened to Honda here in Australia, what's happening to them in the United States, and what's happening to them in Europe. They are collapsing at an incredible pace. Figures released showed 33,410 electric vehicles were reported as sold in Australia. By the way, Australia's a pretty small population. We only have 25 million people, a fraction of the size of, say, the US. So those vehicles were sold in 2022. That's an increase of 550% from the 5,150 vehicles sold in 2021. So I was wrong. It hasn't gone up by 3 times. It's gone up by 5 times, 550%. Mostly driven, of course, by Tesla sales. But there was one other big player. BYD finally started releasing their Atto 3. It's been a lot of drama going on with that vehicle here in Australia, but finally it came out. I've taken delivery of mine. I'll have a review coming for you soon. But still, BYD delivered 1,270 of those in December, which was more cars than Audi or Honda delivered in that month. Audi, 1,262, and Honda, 996. Will BYD become one of the biggest car makers in many countries around the world? Yes. Will Australia be one of those? Absolutely. Now, historically a top 10 car brand in Australia, in fact often top 5, Honda slipped to 19th place on the Australian new car sales charts in 2022 after falling to 14th place the year prior. It's very alarming seeing what's happening to them. So all of this means that even though BYD vehicles have only been on sale here for a couple of months, they were the second best selling electric vehicle car brand in Australia for the entire year of 2022. Unfortunately for Volvo, their Chinese electric car brand, Polestar, has struggled to really sell many cars in the country in their first full year on sale, reporting just 1,324 cars sold in 2022. Pretty disappointing results if you ask me. And what is the reason for that? I think it's really coming down to supply, but also demand is definitely an issue as well. Their vehicles are just not quite perceived as being quite as good as Tesla vehicles. Now, if you go into all the forums and the message boards, you'll see many people who have bought a Polestar slagging off people who've bought a Tesla. I don't know why. That seems to be a common theme among Polestar owners. Maybe just to be different and to, explain why they bought a Polestar. I don't think that's necessary. Polestar make good electric cars, as do, of course, BYD and Tesla. Now, 24 new electric cars, meaning around 24 different models of electric vehicles, are due in Australia this year in 2023. Those include vehicles from Toyota, Subaru, MG, Kia, Hyundai, Volkswagen, and Cupra. Of those vehicles, the one I would consider the most looking at would be the new MG4. It's gotten rave reviews in Europe. It's going to be affordable. I would definitely have a look at one of those if you're in the market for an EV that is affordable and is very practical. I'll put a link in the description below to my video about the MG4. As for Toyotas and Subarus EVs, while they're going to be expensive, probably have a low range, as we've seen in other markets, and I wouldn't even consider buying one personally. But that's just my opinion. Let me know if you agree or you disagree in the comments. Now, experts say that electric cars will continue to demonstrate rapid growth in Australia over the rest of the decade as more models become available, giving consumers a broader choice. Will electric cars in Australia be predominantly made by the manufacturers you know and are used to? I mean, Ford, Toyota, Mazda, Subaru, Nissan, Volkswagen. Will they be coming from those guys, Hyundai and Kia? I would suggest the majority of electric cars will be made in China by Chinese car companies and Tesla. So Tesla will keep on sending as many EVs as they can to Australia. BYD is going to start doing the same. BYD is saying they can actually ship more than 170,000 electric cars to Australia in the future. That would mean that they could become potentially the biggest vehicle manufacturer in Australia, unseating even Toyota by the end of the decade. Will that happen? I'm not sure, but I would guarantee that Toyota is going to see its sales begin to decline. Why? Because it doesn't make many EVs. And yes, believe it or not, even if you're an Aussie who doesn't agree with this, it's true that Australians do want EVs. 550% growth in a single year. That's amazing. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and have a great 2023.